Hey, Jesse, what's up?
Mona, how are you? How are you doing? Good to see you.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Mona's in slow
Thank
motion.
you. It's nice to see you too.
Eh,
Who else is here? Just us? Let's try her.
There you go. Maybe we can hear you better. Yeah, Net and Mona and me. Yeah.
Well, so what have you mastered this week, Jesse?
Hmm. Good. Marketing. It's
Marketing?
out. Yeah, it's out. It's published. It's like versions are going out. And so now just waiting for responses.
Cool.
Positive or negative, some or none. I don't know. Just opened it up today. So we'll see what interest is there.
Do you have a link to your marketing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll probably hit you up for it. I think you got my email, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I've had.
I will. I'll share it with you. Love your feedback.
Okay, cool. I've had, since I've not been here for a while, I've had a whole bunch of wins.
Yay.
I did a reach out to my son,
Hmm.
and I'm in anticipation of not a response from him, but a response to what action I took.
Mm.
My taxes, I didn't owe any money on my taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I go to mediation on Monday over my RV.
Huh?
I've had lots of wins though.
Mm.
I realized that there are some programs that teach you like you're 8, and there are some programs that teach you like you're an adult. And Chris's program treats you like an adult.
Mm.
He doesn't treat you like you're 8.
Yes. Gotcha. Well, that's good.
That's what I think. How'd your son do?
He won. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Of course, Dad had an end result, and mine, so did he, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right. So yeah, he did good. He threw his move. I didn't want him to. He'd had, about 10 days that he hadn't practiced with his back hurting and everything. So it's like, well, how you feeling? His words were rusty. But he went. He did first day. First day was technical, and he was tired. You could tell and feel and see, and we just didn't know. But ended up for his group, his age, qualified, and ended up winning. So
That is awesome, Jesse. Even though he was tired and he didn't feel good, he pushed through.
Yeah. Hi, Jenny. Mona, I can't.
Hey, everyone. I'm driving, so I
Gotcha.
just probably maybe 10 minutes or so.
Right.
It's Good Friday traffic, so I don't.
Yeah, well, you be safe. Everyone was sharing their wins.
I had a win. I was in a situation where I was having a PTSD reaction. And instead of going into a full blown PTSD reaction, I caught it and I go, okay, what is happening? And why am I responding this way? And I was able to slow myself down enough that, yeah, that it didn't go there. The awareness was there though.
That's so good.
That's awesome. Because
Way to go.
when I do a PTSD, it's like a takeover happens.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a conversation with a guy yesterday that he probably was already in it. I don't know about like from a PS from that perspective, but he was in pretty bad shape. Yeah. And was beating himself up pretty good and on the verge of losing everything, I'd say. And he stepped into peace, calm, in a place that he's never been. That's what he said.
Wow,
So,
that's incredible.
yeah, I know, one day, right? And it's like, so gave him an anchor, right? Anchor. And it's like, what do you want? Peace and calm and in control. Like the problem was controlling it. So double bubble-ish, letting go of all that you're afraid of or fearful of controlling. Shit had already happened. Yeah. And it's,
We'll sign out. Where are you going?
Oh, fuck. Gotta go with that.
And so I haven't heard yet, but he was better. Yeah. Even with all the chaos around. So, all right.
Calm
Anyone else got
in the
to
chaos.
win? Yeah. Peace in the chaos.
Oh, I have a little win.
I didn't say it had to be
Grace-
big.
Well, it wasn't my win, but Grace started a new job where she's in training, and she is canvassing for donors for a charity or a cause. And the training is a selection process. So she made it first hoop through the Zoom call, and then she went to a live training in the field. And as a trainee, got her first donor, which is an unusual accomplishment. So she texted me and then called me all excited.
Yeah.
That she did that. And that was very cool.
That is cool. Great for her.
and
Better than us.
Yes, some of you know her aversion to being around people not even a year ago. So that's pretty amazing that she's actually out there putting herself out there and starting conversations with people randomly. So that was very cool.
Yes.
And there was an incident that wasn't great where there was an older man that was in the group, and he touched her in a way that was uncomfortable for her, and she had to let them know that that wasn't comfortable, and it kind of triggered another experience that had recently happened at school. But she pulled it together and went right back the next day, and they handled it well, which is really good.
Yeah.
And so it was, as her mom, she was crying and upset, and I said, okay, just take a deep breath and tell me what you're feeling, kind of just let's be in this moment. And then she calmed down, and then she didn't want, maybe similar to your situation, Mona, she didn't want it to take over. She wanted to experience it but not live in it and let it pass. So I kind of said, well, let's give it a minute, feel what you're feeling, be with it. And then, she was able to drive home. So that was pretty cool. That was a mini win for me and a big win for Grace.
That's great.
So thank you.
It's important that those wins around us as well. Great. Well, anything about Go? Anything that you've 2 weeks now since we started one? Anything like what do you notice showing up, observe any awareness?
Well, maybe the girls don't know, but I tried to play a few rounds after last practice. And whoever was on the other side just cleaned my clock. I just saw pieces going and going. So I realize I really don't know the strategies very well. So I'm open to learning again. So that's all I have to share. The agony of defeat.
Just a perspective.
Yeah, because we win because we show up, right?
That is a perspective too. Yeah, I bet.
So I haven't played Go, but my one son was trying to teach me how to play chess. And he realized that I was having difficulty understanding the concept of chess. So he flipped over it. It's all on his phone. So he's doing this digitally, electronically. So he flipped it over to a checkers board. He says, okay, Mom, well, we played checkers. And it didn't take long. And I cleared the board. I had all my pieces left and he had none. And he goes, whoa, he says, I didn't realize you can play checkers. So I guess I can play checkers, the strategy of checkers. And he's usually pretty good at that. We may not be great at strategizing at one game, but we can polish up and be pretty good at another. It's just learning to be decent at both, I guess, because they'll have different strategies involved.
I have to say Annette's being a little bit modest about her wins. She's taken a course and she's doing extremely phenomenal in it. And I'll let her finish telling you about it.
As you know, I've gone back to school full time, and we've been dealing with the ESOL since the beginning of January, basically. And we just had tests, and every week we have a test, and every 2 weeks we have an exam. And we just finished the final exam, and I did very, very well on it. I do take the time to do it at my own pace, and then I go back through and I reread every question. And yes, I've done exceptionally well. I completed a working at heights certification program on Monday, which was a full day. So it was a 2-hour drive to the city and obviously 2 hours back. And then just enough time, 20 minutes from the time we got home to jump into class again and do school again. So, but yes, it's been very challenging. My brain felt like pudding partway through the week. So this morning, it was just nice just to, as I wrote somebody, I just dilly-dallied around because it was just nice just to muddle around and do whatever I felt like doing. So but yeah.
Oh, gotta take a break.
Yeah.
Reset, readjust, reevaluate.
Yeah.
Make sure, are we still going in the right direction? So we can get wrapped up into it.
I hope I'm going in the right direction. I only got one shot. And so for me, getting a good mark indicates to me that I know the content. Whereas for somebody else, if they can just complete the course above the minimum mark, they've completed the course and they're going to carry on. We would probably get the same job. But for me, it's understanding the content because I don't have the luxury of time to go back to school and take courses until I figure it out for me, I feel like I don't have the luxury of time just to pick and choose and figure it out, because it costs money and there's no money coming in.
Yep.
Whereas my kids, they're younger. If they didn't like what they took, they have whole options of other courses to take or change a career.
Hmm.
And they've
Yeah.
got time on their hands for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, good. Well, I thought I'd play a game with the computer and let you guys watch and ask questions on the moves.
Sounds good.
Yeah. That work, or you guys, would you like to do something different?
I'm cool with it.
I like that idea. You can share your strategy with us.
Now I can only stay till about 4, like to another, what time is it here now? Trying to see the time here. About another 40 minutes and then I have to go.
Yeah, that's about all. I'll put it on as well. All right, so you can see that. See it good?
Yep.
Yes.
Handicap none. I don't know what that means. It's supposed to be my handicap, but anyway. See if it makes it a harder game or not. We'll see. All right, so yep. See, it's not a, every time I play, this is where it plays. And what do I say we start with?
The corner.
That's right, protecting the corner, right? And so it's like, okay, first of all, it's like the AI says, all right, well, I'm going to play here. It's like, fine, right? I'll see what we're going to do. So I stretched on my corner. Now what's happening here is we're starting to make eyes. They're called eyes. Problem is, if we get too stretched out, they come underneath of us. So what I'm doing is I was just kind of taking protection of my corner. What they're going to do is now going to try and run this middle line, right? They're going to push my middle line into there. I'm going to work to go to Atari to see what they do. Atari means, see, they covered it. So, okay, good. The anticipation is that they're going to run this line. Now I either come around, if I come here, you can see that I've got, if I were to play here, I have two empty eyes that I'm threatened with on this side and one here, which means as soon as a black comes in and plays in here, if they play here, they play here, or they play here, they have one of my stones in Atari, which means I have to respond to it. So a decent move around that, it is either to a real hard connection to it, like to close it in, or even a close an eye like that. So there's no way that they can come in and play, but I've given up some territory, right? I can't, but now I can start to attack it. Now I can start to go into their area. So do you see what's happening now is where they were on my side of the board. Now I've stepped into their side of the board. So what I'm doing is we're offsetting it now and going for these corners. I'm closing them in, trying to close them in. Two places, they have a lot of room to come around to me on this side. So they have more life, more room, more space down here than they do up here. But I'm always looking, where am I vulnerable? Where are my weaknesses? If I go here, I'm stretching again. It's probably not a bad move because I've made that one there. Let's see what happens. Yeah, see, they came in and around me, put me in Atari there. Yeah, so it was too big of a stretch. So I'll protect it.
Okay, so what about if you would have gone to G3?
After that one?
But at that one, yeah.
Yeah, if I would have went to G3 on that other one, they would have come in here and taken this territory, and then I would have had this stone would have been under threat then.
Okay.
So not only would they have taken it, they'd pushed me back. And so I said, well, I'm going to hold my territory. Now I'm in threat of losing this one, but they have no way to come back around. So as long as I can limit the space that this stone right here can go into, there's no way that they can connect back. Now they're going to put pressure on this stone. And so I'm going to choose to put pressure on that stone. And I'm going to run them to the shortest direction that I've got, which is down into here. And so they put me into Atari. See how I'm in Atari, but I'm also there in Atari, which means I've only will have one liberty. They have one liberty, but it's my move. And so I can continue to play there. I don't have to execute that stone if I don't want to. So I can just protect it. And what they do is they'll see if they're going to, they're going to continue in. I have to force it. And so now I have to execute on I don't have to execute just yet. If I do that, they'll go somewhere else. If I don't play there, they'll take me. And if I do this, I'll take their stone so that they don't have any place to go. So that's what I'll choose. So I figured they'd come around to this end knowing, okay, they have more space coming here. Now I'm vulnerable. If I stretch out here, they'll come underneath me again in neither of these two places. So I'll go there. They'll come into me, I'm sure. They resigned. So
That means you won.
yeah, there was no move that they could make that would, there was no
Wow.
way that they could win.
You had more than half the board.
I had, two solid corners, and see just how one play. So what I was playing with was I have an eye here, and then if my next move would have been up here, I'd have played up here. So then, they're called open eyes. They're not closed yet, but it only takes one stone to close it, and they can't come in and play it. So that's a shortcut that you build them on. They're called shoulders. So if I would have played without, if I would have taken that one off, let's go back one. If I would have played here, you see, what they call is I have two shoulders. This is a shoulder, and this would have been a shoulder if I had a stone there. So D8 and C7 would have been shoulders. And to beat a shoulder is I call it an undercut. It comes in and undercuts it, plays right in the middle of your eyes, and you've got a weak stone. So you lose some territory. You end up losing that stone if you're not careful. So playing the corners, playing the sides, that's on a short board 9x9. That's a good way to work with the corners, the sides, which is where your strengths are at.
All right, let's show the next game then.
What's that?
I said, let's show us the next game then, because this one's over, right?
Yep, that one's in. Anything you noticed, learned, observed?
You talked the game through.
Are you almost thinking 2 steps ahead?
Mm-hmm. You want to
Okay.
think you want to know how many steps you can think ahead. But yeah, I'm
Almost like the
thinking.
that's like the concept of chess.
Mhm.
My son was trying to explain.
Set them up, set them up, anticipate where they're going to go. And when they don't go there, I wonder why that went there. I don't know what this means, but I'm trying it. I thought it was my advantage, but it doesn't appear to be. And so like when they do that, I can try different things. I don't prefer it. So a safe one is on a 3-3. A little bit more aggressive is on a 4-3. 4-4 is way aggressive, pretty hard to hold, but it's it's not. Let's try it. I'll do a 4-4. So an opening move on a 4-4. I'll do a 4-4 over here. They'll probably come in here. Oh, there they go. They're coming. They're going to try and, so what they're trying to do is cut me off. Interesting. So now I got two shoulders on both sides, held the corner, so I can usually wrap this around. Their strength is on this side. That means my weakness is here. So this is a good corner. That's a good play to cover it. I could have also just come in here and blocked it. I'm playing a little conservative with it, but closing my shoulders. Good move. Don't want to lose it, so I'll fill it in. They'll do the same thing probably. Ooh, they didn't. They didn't. I figured they'd come up there and take it. I'm going to force it. So I force them
What
to move.
happens if black goes into C6? Do they get captured?
C6. If black comes in, they would. Yep. They would come in there because then white could play there. Now they wouldn't be. You could ignore the move. It could be ignored, but more than likely you wouldn't, just because you're threatened, right? Because then black would come in here and take that. But if there's a bigger opportunity somewhere else, then of course you could. It's, you just wonder, it's execute. Is there something bigger? And sometimes if I want to pull somebody's focus off of an area, I'll give away a smaller one to protect a larger one. And so since I played there, so down here, I can ignore it, but if they play, they come in and play, I can ignore it. They come in and play there, then it takes me 2 more moves to get there. It's doable. I go here, I start to see I have more space here, so there's potential for more territory than down here as we start to close it in. It's a crapshoot either way. Let's try that one. So.
No, they resigned.
Yeah. And you can see black had the advantage till the 13th move. So that's the problem of playing in the middle, I think. That's, when you start in the middle, there's nothing, it takes so many moves, you don't gain any territory. So if people that are playing on the corners, playing the corners and then the sides, it's so much more of an advantage.
So what does white wins by resignation? Do persons sign off or do they quit?
No, I'm playing the computer, so it's AI.
So you're playing AI?
No matter where it plays, it can't win. I have structures that no matter where they go, they can't win because I will always have 51% of the board. Now we likely, I would make a mistake along the way and it could hold it, right? That's what happens when we play one another. But when we're playing the AI, as soon as it gets to the point that it figures it can't win, it'll resign. It's a powerful move to know when to quit too.
Even if you're a computer.
Yeah. It's emitting carbon the longer it plays.
Is there a greenhouse gas version of Go?
No. Wrong question, I'd say. It isn't the thing, it's how it's ran, how it's gotten to, how it's used. So if the computer was running off of, the server, if the server was running off of a renewable source, then yes, it would be a renewable game.
So,
Perspectives. So,
so
like,
if
as
you
I'm
set
working
this
with,
up, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. We'll jump into it, I'm sure.
You set this up and you can choose some settings, it looks like.
Yeah.
Like 9x9 or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. 9x9s are going to be the quickest game. You can do a 13x13, 19x19. Those are the normal sizes.
Okay. And can you choose it for like Go for Dummies, like a dumb version to learn, like where it
I think
teaches you?
so. I think I don't know if it's teaching, but I'm just doing an AI version of it. Let's see.
I see a handicap button there. So
Yeah,
maybe
I put a no handicap on there.
so they have different levels of that.
Yeah, so you can put a handicap on there, and that will make it easier for you for sure.
Mhm.
And so I'm just trying to think, how did I get into the I think I played a normal, I played the computer. So I went here and said, okay, let's just play the computer. I can pick
Okay,
any one
because
of
I
any
did
one of them.
Blitz.
Yeah,
So if I did Blitz, was it another human at the other end?
probably, yeah.
Okay.
So let's try that one. Handicap. I don't know let's just play, see what happens.
I imagine the more you play it, you start to see patterns, and then
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Oh, look, there's some new ones that are playing too, so it sees how long they've played. Let's see this one. Here we go. I got one. So, all right. It's set up so that they'll go first. So he's still playing in the middle. You want to all right, well, let's just see what happens. So I like 4-3s. 4-3s are a good stretch. Either direction. 4-4 and a 9x9 is a good board. A good play.
so you're playing the computer or a human in this one?
I'm playing the computer right now. Yeah.
Okay, so do they always start with the black in the very middle?
That's what I've seen so far.
Okay.
That's what I've seen so far. It's kind of like I'm forcing it to choose which way it's going to go. See, now I've got openings on my eyes. I got room in them.
Would black go to 4? No, we went up to E.
More than likely, it's going to come up underneath here onto that one, so I'm anticipating just a future fight, so I leave it open. Real conservative plays just to close it in. You see how it's pushed into my territory, so it's eating up my territory. I'm going to loop around it. See, I got 2 eyes, so it's really hard for them to come in and get me. So a few moves, I win.
Yeah, I see that white wins again.
Yeah. So the real players play on the 19x19. That can take a while. This is a 13x13. See where they
Wow.
start. So now we've stretched out. See, now the dot's on a 4x4 now. Still plays in the middle. Still concept still is the same, no matter where you're playing on it. So what I'm doing is I'm doing one jump out. If I do one jump out, it's see how you're building your eyes. If you do two jumps out, that's two liberties out. You'd be off pattern. So if you do two steps out, because what you're doing is trying to build these eyes, versions of eyes all the way around it. And so ideal is right. That would be one, that would be two. So you put it in there and you've got the beginning of an eye. So this is on a bigger board where you're running more space. Yeah, you can take bigger opportunities. So I'll jump out here and do a little bigger one too. They're going to come in here, I'm sure. Yep. And now it's forcing me to run into the corner. Let's see if it takes it. Nope.
Aren't they starting? There's a, let's see.
There we go. So you can see how it's just so limited to play. I mean, out there, I'm sure they're anticipating that I'll make some moves that will screw it up. But holding three corners, in all reality, with that move, I held three corners of it. So my moves, see how? So now you can see just if we put if I think of the game, here's the eye, right? This is the eye that I'm thinking about. I visualize, because that's a space that counts as territory that they cannot play in. So that is something that white owns. Let's see if I can get them to play in the corner. Interesting. Okay, so no, they don't always start in the middle. It's a very like on your first move, they took no territory on the first move, right? Compared to going there, I'm taking, in all reality, I have at least how you would count it with this one move is I would own this whole territory right here. So I would own 9 pieces of territory with one move. They held one territory. They've got one piece, like there's no way I could have that. So 2 moves, they ended up with 1 liberty. I have 9 compared to it. So let's just see what happens when I come in and start playing into the corner. Corners are really where you get to learn the opportunities. So they're going to try and run out underneath of me. Let's see how I'm starting to build my eye. They're building their eye. Poked around me, right? They're putting pressure on my 2 stones to separate it. I had my eye set up, so 1 move seals it. More likely they're going to come in there and close it off. Now, they're either going to come around the corner or they're going to try and come over here and play on my shoulders. So it's like, okay, which one do they want to come in and play on? To hold it, they're going to need this spot. If I play there, though, they'll take me. If I play there, they can't. So they did. See, they're jumped over and like, okay, now it's like, okay, do I have a bigger opportunity on the board? And it's like, well, I really don't want to lose that one stone when I can execute. And I jumped out. And so then I'll execute. I'll take them out of the game. It relieves. See, it takes the pressure off of that stone and then I ended up winning.
Oh, cool.
So that's a good way to play out on, the corners is when we get in there and play it out.
So when I look at the graph, it's interesting because they only
Yeah,
were ahead on the very first move.
Yeah.
I got pictures. I'll show you.
Well, no, that's all right. We'll go back over there.
Let me see. Look at this. Look.
I didn't hear you, Nettie.
No, they're all different numbers.
All right.
Hey, Mona,
This is the front one.
Give me
You're-
just a second.
we can hear you, Mona.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm good. Thanks.
I thought I was on mute. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
It's okay. I was saying that based on the graph that they were only ahead on their very first move. After that, you had basically won the game.
Yep. And that's the taking, the first move was there, right, in the corner, and that was where they took really no territory, right? Just they had one piece, so they had more territory. And then when I took my move, this is potential, right? The potential to win, and you can see those first three moves, they never could get out of it. Now I wouldn't have never known, like as I played to resign, if I was black at this moment, I wouldn't.
Could you have gone in a completely different corner and started a new?
Yeah, black. I would have with black. Black would have done that, to try and then that's forcing white to make a mistake. So let's see. Let's work a situation. Who's got a situation?
Started in the corner.
So your opponent made that move. What would you say about that move? What would you say their situation in life is?
Playing it safe.
Good. How about mine?
Leaving your options open.
Good. Ooh, look at that.
They're trying to block you. A little aggressive.
Definitely a confrontation, right? They went right after me. They touched me, right? That's we're going to fight. We're ready to fight. Wonderful. I'm going to keep them from their strength. So what I'm looking for is like, okay, where are they strong? This is their connection on how they're going to stay strong. This is where all the opportunity is. So where do I want to force them? Where do I want to make them play?
So would it be J12?
That's one way. You see how I'm too far. See how I'm off how I would be off on the I.
So would
Yeah.
so
How
okay.
about G? Is it G?
Well, this is a good move because I know this is their strongest position, right? If they were to connect these two, this is the only way that they could connect. See, so we go straight up to their line and then straight up to this line. So in all reality, right, black owns all of this territory right here. Right now, black has all of this territory. So that is their strength. That is their strength territory.
So would K12 or J11?
That'd be a good one. Or I'd just come in and put pressure on them because I'm one move ahead of them. So I'm going to put pressure on them to see which way they go with it so that I can always execute. And I'm going to undercut their eye. Because see, they're just trying to get me in, and there they go. So now they're coming out of it. All right. This is a good play. It's a good play. So I'm either way, I'm going to be ignoring one side or the other. So it's like, okay, which one do I need? Which one am I willing to give up?
The one to the top right, because he's already got that territory. Or is it seven?
Well, it's if I play here, that means I'm protecting the middle, which does have the biggest space. If I play in here, then I'm saying I'm going to commit to protecting the side.
Hmm.
Yeah. For a space game, I'm going to do that just to see how it plays out. Mm-hmm.
Is F11 an I for the black? No.
No, G either there or 10, F10. That would be where they would have their I. So black would have the I in there when they got these two places. And white has these two on this corner. That would be white's I right there. You can see the I inside of that.
Mhm.
And so white comes down here, right? And if white comes down here, then it's beginning to take the pressure off of these two stones. Now, white can also go here and put pressure on these two stones.
Mhm.
But then black will come in around over here. It doesn't take many for black to get out of it because I'm going to be weak as I chase them. I would be weak to get there. And so then they would loop back around on me.
So what about if you went in the different direction? You went down towards the 8 and 7 line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
Kind of create a distraction then, right?
Yeah, it definitely could. I'm working to, just play so that we have some moves and competition going on with it, just to see what happens. So let's just see what happens with that. See how they're in Atari now?
Yeah.
Yep, good. And so now they're beginning to cut me off here. They're going to either come around here or here, and I have two stones that I have given up then. So I'll do that.
Okay.
And so these are good, like these two like that. That's a strong position, a strong move. Just because they're connected. It's stronger than just one stone by itself. So I'm real weak right here. Yeah.
That was a winning move.
Yeah. I wouldn't
They
have
give up these.
anticipated, but
I thought you had so much of the board left. Why would they quit?
yeah. I don't know. I just didn't figure they could win. So it didn't really play a situation out. Usually what we do is we get stuff built in, and then it would be like, oh, where does that move show up? Why that one versus something else? So it's just a place to see where our moves are, what we would do, and why we would make that move. So
Interesting.
That's kind of how life is, isn't it?
it is. That's right. It's got to respond, right? It's our turn. Now in life, it doesn't go one for one back and forth that way.
No. It's just
You can play as many moves as fast as you want or as slow as you want.
but it's always
Mhm.
anticipating what the reaction would be and what would be your best move based on an assumptive reaction.
Yes.
Be safe or take an advantage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
And knowing what's
there's some,
coming at you, it's like, oh, they're fighting me. Oh, look, there's that's that feeling. They're coming in to engage in a fight.
Mhm.
But there's some presumption made of how you will respond based on old patterns. So if you change your pattern, then the assumption doesn't work.
That's right.
Right, because they're doing the same thing as what you are.
Mhm.
Yes.
Progress.
Yeah.
And to assume that your opponent is not getting better is dangerous.
Yes. When it's too quiet.
Yep.
Question it.
Well, good. What did
Good.
we learn today?
Never assume anything.
Well, you have to.
To a point, yes.
Yeah.
Make the assumptions on all the variables.
Which is
But-
never possible.
No, but don't bank on anything. And react with whatever move they make with pause and observance.
Yep. Choice, huh?
Yeah.
And one thing that I've worked with is what's the worst and the best?
It's a good one.
It's good.
What's the best? Like what's going to take the most territory in this game? What's going to be the best move to take territory? Or what's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Yeah. Sometimes a small sacrifice one way is huge gains in another.
That's right.
Their
And
focus is on that small gain for
yeah.
themselves.
Oh, ain't that so true? It's like, oh, so what am I willing to give up on for something bigger?
Yeah.
And imagine that in our society. Imagine that in our life where we say, oh, I'm going to let go of that for this, for something big. Oh, that's a pattern that doesn't happen.
No, because we're scared shitless for that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The scarcity model, right? It's like scarcity in the game.
Yeah. Gets us thinking, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Thinking, aware, assessing different lenses, how things could be, what they could be about. What am I stepping over?
That's why being present is so vital.
Yeah.
Because there's no assumptions when you're present. You just see it.
Yeah. It's always one of the points of structure.
Mm-hmm.
You can't avoid it.
So dilly-dallying this morning
Hmm.
was good because it just brought me into the present and just do what I felt like doing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, it's part of it is what mood were you in when you dilly-dallied?
God, I was relaxed. I was happy. I must say it's one of the first few moments of a little bit of peace that I had. And I was happy.
Yeah.
I was happy. I'm having a great day. And that's when somebody asked me, what kind of a day are you having? I said, I'm having a great day. So whoever I'm talking to or I'm messaging or whatever, I tell them I'm having a great day because I needed that this morning. It's good. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
What I love about what you just said, Annette, is you're already putting it out there in the field. You're having a great day. That's your intention.
Yeah.
That's the intention. When you start speaking that way and you're putting it in the field, you're bringing it into the 3D reality. And if you're writing it down, it makes it even more concrete.
Yeah.
Good point.
Because I would
Choose
talk,
it.
yeah, I would talk about being in this, in between plus and minus, and that's a really great place to be. And once you can kind of figure out how to be there, that's where it opens up into the other areas. Because I was beyond plus and minus this morning. Because I remember thinking, oh, is this plus and minus? And it's like, no, it's not. This is something very different. It's beyond that.
Yep.
Plus and minus is the training wheels.
Yes. And it's, and we're always in one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the skill, which I think is like the mastery, is in the neutral.
Yes.
Allow the flow and let go of the friction.
Yeah.
So it's that wobble, right? Noticing the wobble.
And things wobble differently here now. They either wobble very fast or it's just so slow.
Smaller. You're handling it before it gets bigger.
Because the perspective is different.
Mastery.
Working on it.
Choice.
Yes, choice.
Yeah, mastery is we assume that, oh, like masteries, we can't have mastery till we're there.
No, you're
Mastery
doing
is just an intention.
yes, you're doing it every single moment that you're working towards it. I don't think there's ever an end to mastery.
To anything.
No.
We just might choose something different.
Mm-hmm.
Might change directions, but we only change directions because of the choices and the actions that we took before that.
Yes. Were they
But
emotional based or were they logically based? Were they reactive? Just like what type of reaction was it? It's huge. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna pitter patter out.
Pitter patter out.
I've got a four-legged fuzzy animal that I promised my son I would come out and go for a walk. We're going down to the bush to go for a walk.
Go do that. That's
Go
wonderful.
do the dog thing.
I'm gonna go do something too. I don't know what.
Bye, everyone. Have a happy Easter.
Yeah,
There
you all.
you go.
Thank you.
Hoppity hoppity. Okay, bye.
Thanks for being here.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
all.
Thanks, Jesse. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Mona.
Bye, sweetie.
Bye, Mona.